Nanyang girls, we believe in nurturing every one of our students as a woman of character, an empowered learner, and an agent of change. Guided by our school values of Qin, Shen, Duan, Pu, we nurture every Nanyang girl to be a woman of character who embodies excellence, exercise empathy, live life with integrity and gratitude.
As a whole, Nanyang emphasizes on bicultural and bilingual education, aiming to empower its students into the 21st century, where such knowledge is becoming increasingly necessary and valuable. In school and in classrooms, our teachers are more than happy to answer any of the students' queries. They also make good use of interactive tools such as Quizlet and Mentimeter. Outside of the classroom, the school also actively engages in creating a variety of programs for its students. For example, in lower secondary, the students are engaged in what is known as the SPICE program, where we identify different problems in this community and we think of various ways to contribute back to the community.
We offer a 6 years IP program together with Hwa Chong. In the 4 years that our girls are with us, we nurture them to be empowered learners through our curriculum. One that is concept-centric, experiential, relevant and differentiated. We teach them skills to be independent and collaborative learners.
The school provides us with many opportunities to cultivate our potential and interests in different areas, be it academic achievements, CCA competitions, or other aspects of student life. The school makes us aware that what's most important isn't the ultimate victory, but rather the constant pursuit of excellence and persevering through the challenges that we face.
This is the Nanyang Backyard Cafe. It is an initiative started by the students and completely run by the students. This is an example of how we nurture our girls to be agents of change. The profits from the Backyard Cafe all goes back to the community. There are many other opportunities that we hope to create to give each girl the opportunity to impact the people around them and the society.
The school provides us with many opportunities to be agents of change in terms of giving back to the people around us, such as our fellow schoolmates or the community around us. For instance, in Secondary 2, students will get the opportunity to go for community service, where we are attached to different service centres to give back to the society around us.
During carnivals such as Carnival Vibrante and Homecoming Funfair, students had the chance to lead their own class and CCAs to help to give back to the community by doing various projects in order to raise funds and donate the rest of the money to the community.
Apart from offering an enriched curriculum, we endeavour to build a caring environment for our girls, one that is safe and nurturing, so that every Nanyang girl can grow joyfully and confidently. Thank you for visiting us at our open house. See you soon.
大家早上好 Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live Q&A session for the DSA 2021. I'm Mr. Zhang, a Chinese teacher of Nanyang, also head of Relations and Heritage. What you just watched is the opening address by our principal, Madam Ng, and the presidents of the 3 student leadership bodies of Nanyang Girls High. Without further ado, let me introduce my principal, Madam Ng.
大家早上好，很高兴在星期六早上在线上跟大家交流一下。Thank you for coming on this live session of Q&A with Nanyang Girls. We have collected some questions, so we will just jump into them, and I hope that you will continue to keep the questions coming so that we can help to answer some of the queries or thinking that you may be wanting to clarify.
Thank you, Madam Ng. Joining us today, we have the key personnel from all the DSA domains. Let me invite them into the studio one by one and let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Mr. Lan Seo. I'm the head for CCA. So the domains that I'm in charge of will be all DSA applicants that's applying through the CCA. Yep.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a mathematics teacher at Nanyang Girls High School. I'm Ms. Wong and Head of Character and Leadership Development. I will be addressing issues related to service leadership, DSA, this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Glad to be here with you today. I am Mrs. Jean Koh, humanities teacher as well as a head of research and innovation, and I'll be looking into the DSA innovation students. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Mrs. Aileen Tan, head of the English department, and I'm in charge of the bilingualism domain for DSA.
大家早上好，我是陈老师，我是华文部主任。那我跟 Irene 一样，是负责双语 DSA 的。
Hello everyone, I am Delene So, a happy member of the Nanyang family, and we welcome your daughters. I'm the head of talent development and school-based gifted education, and I teach language arts and English language.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We can actually have EXCO meetings here already. All right, everyone. Later, each of us will take turns to answer 2 to 3 questions in one shot. You can post your questions in the comments along the talk. So let's get the balls rolling. Let's start with the questions regarding the academic areas first. All right?
Okay, so we've gathered some questions. Parents, you are students alike, you are concerned about the selection process. How do we shortlist you? What is the selection process like? Now, we will shortlist you based on your primary 5 and primary 6 results. We also look at your holistic performance as well before we shortlist you. And once you are shortlisted for the academic domain, you will be invited to take a written test, an e-written test, as well as an e-interview. As for the details, do not worry. Nearer the date, the shortlisted candidates will be provided with the information via email. Also, another question is, will the interview be conducted in groups or individually? Now, the format is not cast in stone, so it may vary year to year. So sometimes it is group, maybe a group of 6. Sometimes it is individual. So there is no fixed format. We will vary that accordingly. Also, some of you have asked, will my child be given a place if she doesn't perform as expected at PSLE? Now, if she has been given a confirmed offer and she has accepted that and she qualifies, PSLE results qualify her for a place in an express stream, then yes, her place is still available here at Nanyang Girls High School. So at this point, and also questions like what is the number that you take and all that for the different domains, I'm afraid the information is confidential. And very importantly, students and parents, this whole process, take it as a learning process, enjoy the learning process, but do not worry about doing a lot of extra preparatory work. That's not the point. We are talking about finding a good fit as well. So at this point, I would like to pass the time over to my colleague, Mrs. Irene Tan, Head of English Department. Irene, over to you.
Thank you, Mrs. So. I would like to answer the first question, one of the questions, one of those that we received. It goes like this. What are the commitments for the 4 years if a child were to DSA via bilingualism? The commitment is as follows. In lower secondary, we have a talent development program, which is in the timetable. So their days will be a little bit longer than the rest of the students because of this program. And through this program, we will nurture their linguistic and their literary talents. And we hope through this program that they will discover their true interests. We understand that they are still very young, so we are giving them the chance to further discover. At the end of the 2 years, they will be able to opt for their upper secondary programs. So that's when they can control whether they want to go deeper into bilingualism. So if they want to, they will choose special programs such as the humanities program, the bicultural studies program, or the CLE. If they do not do that, we may still strongly encourage them to take part in competitions that come by to represent the school. So in upper secondary, when they are more sure about their talent, we strongly encourage them to contribute back still, even if they don't choose the special programs. I will pass the time now to my colleague, Chen Xingzhe 老师。
大家早上好，我在这里呢，对这个 Irene 刚才的这个内容呢，做一些小小的补充。那么以华文部来说，除了安排在课表里面的 TD 课程之外呢，我们还有其他的才能培训课程，如翻译、司仪、创意写作等等。但是这些课程呢，学生在报名参加时，必须确保他们不会影响他们的 CCA 时间。那么到了高年级呢，我们会强烈鼓励双语的 DSA 学生，那么选修这个双文化课程或者语文特选课程，但是不是强制性的。我们认为呢，家长请你们给孩子多一些时间，让他们在中一、中二时去进行多一些探索，那么发掘他们的这个强项和兴趣，那么让他们在中三的时候能够选择真正适合自己的课程。不过呢，即使孩子在高年级的时候没有选修双文化或语文特选课程，我们还是会为他们安排呢上高年级文化课程，而这个高年级文化课程呢是安排在课表里面的。在这里我也要就是回答一个就是每一年家长都会询问的问题，那就是是不是所有的学生都必须要选修高级华文课程？那我的答案是的。那么我们也相信呢，只要学生肯学习，在老师的细心指导之下呢，华文水平一定能够提高。所以这一点呢，希望家长们不必担心呀。那么现在就是我把这个时间交给张博老师。
Okay, 好的 Madam Ng, do you have anything to comment?
Yeah, I will jump in now because I'm seeing a number of questions coming in, whether you need this particular award, you need this particular prerequisite. I just want to share that overall, right, the purpose of DSA is not to set the expectations on all these talents so high, all right, that make it very difficult to even consider. I think the most important thing about DSA into any school is if this is the school that will help your child thrive and grow. And as you know that Nanyang is an IP school, all right, we are a SEP school. So there are, as an expectation for all students, not just about DSA students, right, that ability, all right, to manage academically, all right, that ability to be stretched, okay, in broader aspects of academic learning, as well as the expectation of the higher mother tongue. So overall, I think that is important to understand and know that whether these are areas that your child will continue to feel excited about instead of feeling stressed. All right, I think this is an important factor. So going back to a specific question of whether you need Olympiad, you need this, you need that, we also know that this 1-2 years in light of COVID, there are many competitions that has been held back, cancelled, postponed. All right, so it is really not about the competition achievements that we are looking at, but about the disposition. All right, about that curiosity, let's say in the area of math and science, whether your child is passionate about that area or not. It is not just because they are doing well in primary school, but whether beyond that subjects in primary school, all right, they find their own areas of interest, topics that they continue to explore, continue to think inquisitively, all right. In areas of sports and games, for example, it is some background definitely is important, but are they continually passionate about that area that they want to continue to pursue and become better? All right, those dispositions are important because once they come in through DSA, there will be certain commitment that's expected, and we want to see them continue to be excited and passionate in those areas. Of course, as a school, we want to provide those opportunities for them to grow, but it has to be a good match. So this idea of a match is important. We cannot be very specific in those criteria to tell you for this, you need at least that, because each year we also look at who are the students that's applying through the DSA. So I can tell you, oh, we don't need a certain level, for example, music. Oh, we don't need grade 7, for example. All right. However, if the students that's going to come in, all right, and most of them, or 100% of them, has hit that level, then that may become an expectation because we have that limited numbers. And from that limited numbers, we will look at the whole group and then decide who matches the profile of the CCA, profile of the school, other students well. So that's why I thought to clarify this part, maybe it doesn't help parents to answer specifically what you need to know. So I would say what we do encourage is know what your child's interests and passion are, all right? Get your child to come on the e-open house to get a sense if this is really the place that they want to continue to learn and grow, all right? And then try out the DSA. Try out the DSA for us to also have that assessment of each other. Is this really what they want? All right. Is this an area that they really want to continue to explore? Okay, I'll hand the time over to other colleagues.
Okay, maybe I will pick this up after Madam Ng, since we talked about passion and things like that. And I think many of the parents, you all are very stressed with the fact that there is no NSG competition last year and this year. So you definitely will be wondering how are we going to do our selection, how do we differentiate the students. Let me just put it this way. I think if you are stressed, we are even more stressed because we also have to ensure that we are being fair to all students. So what happened moving forward is really we will try and obtain as many different sources of information as possible and triangulate them together. Ultimately, it is really about what is the best fit for your girl, whether this is a school that she wants to be in. And on our part, of course, JSA participation helps. Good NAFA results will help. The other competitions that she might have taken part in, if not, it's fine also. Then we will look at the process where after she has gone through the DSA selection, and then we will make a decision from there. So let me answer another 2 more questions. First question, there was a question mentioned about whether or not you need to get a letter from the primary schools to support your case. I think the ministry stand is very clear. We should not overwhelm or overburden our colleagues in primary school. So please don't go to your daughter's form teachers or their CCA teachers and get them to write letters to support her case. Honestly, there is no need for that. What we will do is we will actually reach out to the teachers on our own to get them to provide some feedback. So there is really no need for you to approach them to ask for a separate letter. The other thing is also there are questions about training. I think generally for DSA students, your training intensity and frequency is the same as any other students. And the frequency that we have in our school is 2 times a week, unless we are leading to a competition, then it might increase to 3 times a week. But it is just prior to the competition and during the competition. After the competition, it will drop back to 2 times a week. Yep. Okay, I'll pass the time maybe to my colleague. So.
Thank you, Mr. Teo. I'll address some questions related to criteria, the selection criteria, as well as also the commitments for the service leadership DSA. So this is the first year we are opening up service leadership DSA, and I understand there are some queries about this as well. Generally, according to what we have also indicated in our school website, the general selection criteria would be as follows: passion and aptitude in the specific talent area for all DSAs, performance at selection tests, performance at trials, auditions, academic ability, as well as character and leadership disposition. In particular to service leadership, we are also looking at the conduct grade of the girls, as well as also, as mentioned, really that consistently good performance in the examinations in primary school. Also for specific to service leadership would be we're looking at whether the students have taken on any key leadership roles in leadership boards or CCAs, uniform groups or class committee boards. Or if it's not positional leaderships, we're also looking at their experience, what they have experienced in school to lead certain student organizations or projects. And ultimately, we are actually looking for students who are also demonstrating that sense of service to others with the heart to serve. We do understand the challenges and limitations posed by the pandemic. We'll also calibrate the expectations accordingly, and we want to also take into consideration some of the initiatives and the efforts put in by the students within the school community. So that's for the selection criteria. As for commitment, it is a 4-year commitment, as with all the other DSAs. Our focus really is on the development of self-leadership and service to school. What are some of the commitments? We would like them to participate in leadership training over the 4 years. It could be leadership training organized within the school or external events. Could be conventions, leadership conventions organized by certain organizations, as well as also by other schools. We also hope that they can offer their service during school events, as we recognize that there can be meaningful learning and development of social emotional competencies and leadership skills when they serve, as perhaps ushers, school tour guides, so on and so forth. We also like to encourage them to take up a community leadership program at Secondary 3. And of course, at the end of the day, we encourage them to volunteer or sign up for leadership roles to serve at the class, CCA, or school-wide level. All right, with that, let me pass the time over to Mrs. Koh.
Hi, good morning, parents and everyone. I think there are not that many questions with regard to DSA innovation, but I think broadly we do like what Ms. Wong has mentioned, that understanding the previous year's situation and all, the students may not have that many opportunities in terms of specific competitions that they are involved in. But I think broadly for DSA innovation, I think we are looking for our students who are actually keen observers, passionate to propose changes in different areas. They have a certain passion to want to maybe take risks and looking into solutions for different areas, want to experiment. So really those are some of the mindsets and dispositions that we want to develop further through our DSA innovation. So I think these are some areas that we are looking into for DSA innovation for now. Thank you.
All right, we have seen a lot of comments, questions on Facebook already. So now we'll just address these questions as well. So can we invite the other 3 colleagues who have looked through some of the comments here and to answer some of the questions here? I'll try to highlight the questions, all right?
Okay, maybe I will start off. I'm not referring to any specific question, but my sense of what are the concerns. There are some concerns about how we will see whether they are passionate, how we will select them, and so on and so forth. So there will be an e-selection test, and there will be an e-interview. So this is basically, these are the tests and the interview we conduct, but we cannot reveal how exactly the format is. The reason is that you must look at our intention. Our intent is to look for students who, when they come into the school, they will fit in very well because they would be of the standard of the rest of the students, and they will enjoy our program. They will not feel left behind. So we are looking for students of a certain standard. So basically, if you feel you can see that your daughter in her primary school results, primary 5, primary 6, your daughter is doing well, then apply, because these are the students we are looking for. Yeah. And as for the format, since we are just looking for people who are good in the languages, we would not want to say the format is this or the format is that, so that there will be no pressure on the parents, the students to prepare, to make sure that they don't lose out to others who prepare. So in a way, the less you know, the better. so that you can just come and the kid can be confident. The kid can know that she's good in the languages, and she just comes and enjoy doing whatever assignment we do. This will be how the tone will be. Just let the kid enjoy doing whatever that is. Yeah. Over to 金珍老师。
我这里呢就回复Miss Elizabeth Chang 的问题。Miss Chang 就是提到说，会不会有学生因为中1、中2高华呢学不好，然后会被要求呢退选这个高华？那么我的回答是，就是从以往到现在，从来没有学生会因为高华成绩不好而被我们要求说去退选快捷华文，因为我们呢作为一所特选学校，我们鼓励每个学生尽其所能把华文学好。那么我们也会尽力的通过种种方式激发学生的兴趣，提高他们的华文水平，绝不放弃。我们比较担心的是学生放弃。然后我们希望呢，学生在南中这样一个充满这个双文化的这样的一个氛围里面，能够把这个华文学好所以绝对不会有学生因为高级华文读不好呢而被要求呢放弃高级华文呀。我现在
Maybe I jump in here about higher Chinese and things like that. It seems that quite a bit of concern. I think generally, like what Xin Lao has mentioned, we want to encourage. We want to encourage our girls to continue to learn Chinese at a higher level. But we are also recognizing that it can be challenging for a small number of girls. So for parents, I think if at the beginning of considering a secondary school, at this stage where your child doesn't have a keen interest in the language, may not be doing higher Chinese now, all right, you really need to have that conversation with your child, whether she's prepared to put in that effort and she's keen to continue to learn it at a higher level, because that's really important. As much as teachers work very hard， 老师们真的很用心、很用功的去激发孩子。可是我觉得，最重要就是孩子本身他对学习华文的一个态度。So for example, I saw a question that if my child is not even offering higher Chinese now, it's fine if they are not offering higher Chinese, but if they have keen interest, they still read. They still read Chinese book. They still watch Chinese programs. You know. It's not dependent on whether they take the higher Chinese now, but really is the interest and that will to say that I will continue to work with the teachers. I think that is important to consider. Yeah. And at the end of the day, when they come, we really don't try to drop them to Chinese. In the event when we offer them to take an additional CL paper, all right, for O level, it's also for their benefit, because there is a prerequisite, all right, for university entry, for JC entry on the mother tongue standards. So those are the things that we try to do to help the child.
Okay, there are a number of questions. I will answer them again about what if the child is unable to, her PSLE result doesn't allow her to qualify for Nanyang, but she has previously been offered a place in Nanyang. If that is the case, do not worry. If we have given you a confirmed offer and your results qualify you for an express stream in any school, then your place here at Nanyang will be secured. There is also another question that has come up a number of times. What are the requirements? I believe my colleagues, some of them have answered, Mrs. Tan has answered that as well, which would be, we would look at the consistently good performance in primary 5 as well as primary 6. If you are applying for like consistently overall good results, as well as your holistic picture of the child as well. Then we will shortlist the child, and during the shortlisted, once they're shortlisted, they go through the e-written test as well as the e-interview, where we'll also get to interact with the child and find out a bit more about the child. In addition, there was another question. 2 children, same results, GE, non-GE. Does the GE child get preferential treatment No, we are a fair, happy family. As I've said, we are fair in our assessment. We look at the child in totality. It's about finding that good fit, and we believe in that. When we say it, we actually believe in that. We want the child to be happy here, to be able to find joy in the midst of rigor, to be able to learn and experience that wonderful 4 years of learning journey with us, 2 years at Hwa Chong. There was also a question about GE curriculum versus non-GE curriculum. As you know, we're an IP school. So we, of course, have the IP program for all our students. And for GE girls, we don't have a core class per se. So we have top-up classes. So they will also get to interact with non-GE girls, which is very good for their effective development. And in terms of cognitive development, there's no shortchanging, not to worry. We have enriched curriculum. We know that GE girls like very challenging questions. They like hands-on activity, for that matter, a lot of children do. So we do provide that. And also be assured that teachers who teach the SB GE girls, we are all trained to teach them. So yeah, are there other questions that any of my colleagues would like to take on at this point?
I will jump in here about affiliation and
yes.
choice. Okay, I saw I think a few questions on what is the number of students that we will take in for affiliation, right? So our affiliated school is of course Nanyang Primary, and I think it has been published. All right, what will be the affiliation cutoff? There are 20% of the places, all right, set aside for affiliation. So we have a cohort of about 400, okay, each year. And if you look at 20%, it will be about 80 places, okay? But I want to tie that in with another question that talking about first choice, second choice, will it matter? This time round, yes, it will matter a lot, the choices that you make. So even if you have met the affiliation point, for example, but you did not put Nanyang as a first choice, and I have more than 80 students that have applied through affiliation for Nanyang. At the tiebreaker time, you will look at who chose first choice and who didn't choose first choice. The child that has chosen first choice will come in first, all right? And after that, we will look at the rest. So if you have put in a second choice or third choice, all right, you may have the same results. You will be pushed down, all right, until it may be off that vacancy list already. So that is the important factor that I think parents need to know. So that's why visiting all the e-open house, understanding the different school and whether it's a good match for your child and whether your child really has that keen interest in coming to the school is important to make that choice. Okay.
I will take two questions. The first question is about, I think, how many places will be offered for Leadership DSA? As mentioned by Mrs. So at the beginning, we are unable to review the information as it's confidential, so hope you understand. The second question, responding to Mei Chiu, Xin Xuan, and Jin Ho Ko, yes, you're asking about the information to provide, whether in participation in debate, Chinese essay competition, prefect information, etc. We encourage parents and child to decide what to submit via the portal based on what demonstrates the child's holistic learning and application for this DSA. Hand the time over to my other colleagues.
Okay, maybe I'll take 2 or 3 questions. The first one, I think, which has been highlighted just now by a few times, which is about whether or not you can apply to 2 domains. Yes, you can apply to 2 domains from the same school. And if you are shortlisted, you will go through the process for both domains. If your girl is very, very talented and she's selected for both, then what will happen is we will actually reach out to you and we will have a discussion to determine which is the best option for your girl moving forward. So not to worry, if you are really, really keen to join Nanyang, of course you can choose 2 domains and apply accordingly. There's also a question from Ms. Ko regarding whether or not Wuzhen can be considered under CO DSA. Unfortunately, we can't do that. We do have a Guzhen ensemble ourselves. So in that sense, we are not offering Guzhen as one of the instruments for DSA. There are also a few questions that were surfaced previously regarding application of art through DSA. We don't offer art as a subject for DSA, but we do offer art elective program. So that is available once you join the school. Yep, I hope that clarified things. Thank you. Mrs. Koh, would you like to go first?
Hi, parents. I think I would take on the question on the difference between DSA Innovation and DSA Science. I'll focus more on the understanding of the DSA Innovation domain. So I think for DSA Innovation domain, we are focusing a bit more on the broader base and to really focus on developing our students' creative thinking. And some of that may fall into areas of science, for example. So we are not restricting that per se for DSA Innovation. And I think really to encourage and develop our students' abilities, mindsets to come up with human-centric solutions to innovate in different areas of their interest. It could be in products, in systems, in experiences, and something that they can contribute back to specific needs that they identify in the community, for example. So that is more for DSA Innovation. So yeah, that's a bit of that difference between DSA Innovation and DSA Science. And I think there was a question by parent Ko Hui Yen. I think you mentioned about this IRS project. So I think we are open. We are open to different ways that the students can demonstrate some of this, their creativity, their innovative ability. So for this particular project, I think it's individualized research study, which focuses on inventive thinking, problem-solving skills. I think we are open, and I think this could be something that we might consider for the innovation DSA students as well. Okay, there's no specific ones that we are currently narrowing on in that case, in that sense. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll jump in here before other colleagues come on board. I see a few questions about boarding school facilities. Even in the first round, there was this question. Yes, we have a boarding school, all right. Our boarding school do take in some of our own students, whether they are overseas students or not, all right. But we also have been sending our whole Sec 2 cohort to the boarding school experience before COVID hit. For that experience for a few weeks, that is really the intent of getting our girls to have an experience of residential stay with their friends, all right, learning to some simple life skills and also to manage themselves, all right, to live independently. So yes, can students who are not foreign students apply? They can. We do have places for that. We are also, the boarding school are also in collaboration with other international schools and so on and so some. We do have a mix of different schools that are staying in our boarding school. Okay, what is the percentage of foreign students in each cohort? I must say that this really varies. All right. Of course, coming into Sec 1, most of our students, almost 100%, will have to come through PSLE. All right, will have to take PSLE. Okay, so even when you talk about foreign students, they are already students who are in our system. All right, we can't give you a good number, but I will say that the number is not very high. All right, but I think this is an area that we do like to see diversity as well. Yeah. Whether it's diversity across schools. Okay, so we do have a total of 90 odd schools each year in each of our Sec 1 cohort at least. All right, we also want to see local and some foreign students, all right, so that they have a good diversity for the girls to be able to learn with and together. Yeah, I hand over to whoever wants to take the next question.
Okay, Mrs. So, there's a question directed at you, so probably you want to answer that first. Then I have a few questions for the Chinese and the English usually as well.
Okay, sure, Mr. Zhang. Okay, parents, Earlier, I answered the question about a student who is GE versus a student who is non-GE, and whether the GE child would have preferential treatment. The answer is no. So now the question that follows would naturally be the one that's here. Because the assessment will be different, then how will that be fair to GE students? Do not worry. We are very, very experienced educators. So we are aware of the different standards of assessments across different schools in Singapore. So trust us to know where to place your child and to know the standards across different schools, GE, non-GE. So that I can assure you. Can I at this point also answer a few questions on DSA mathematics and DSA science? Now, for DSA mathematics, when the children begin, believe that they really do want to learn more to deepen their, critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, their passion for mathematics. So they will be committed to a 4-year Olympiad training program. And of course, we would encourage them to also participate in relevant competitions to challenge themselves, to hone their skills. We also have in-house programs such as math research project, big data project, because at secondary 3, all our students undergo research and design thinking training. So that would be a lovely platform for your children to hone their skills. In science, we also have structured talent development programs for them, for the DSA science students. We also have different partnerships with external partners, DSTO, A-Star, some of our partner organizations. So students will also get to learn from mentors. They would also get to participate in relevant competitions. And at lower secondary, yes, they will also participate in at least one research or innovation project, like innovation program, green wave environmental care competition, for example. So if your children are very passionate about mathematics and science, they have the aptitude, passion, then these are some of the background information I can provide you with. There was also a number of questions about how, if my child comes in through one of these academic domains and then she's unable to cope, what happens then? Well, we really take pride in being a caring community. You can ask around and we will stand firm to that. So when I say that, what I mean is this: we will not wait till the child is in any sort of big trouble before the parents are informed. When we see that the child is not performing as well or is having some issues, we would immediately work closely with the child as well as with the parents. There will always be a support system for your child. So not to worry, because I saw a number of questions about that. What if they don't do well in the DSA subject in their years of studying? We will be there to help the child. We will be there to render that support system for the child. And at all times, we will work closely with you. Yes.
OK， 好，我这里回答就是家长的问题，一个问题，就是Miss Daisy 她呢就是提到说，那么学生到了高中的时候，是不是不必选修这个，需不需要选修这个华文，高中的这个华文？那么我们的 HC，我们的这个伙伴。那么华侨中学他们的要求是学生的高级华文呢是在 B4 或者更好，那么就不必继续选修华文了。
There was a question on typing, whether the students need to be good in typing. I think that all our students have gone through SLS lessons, right? If they can type their SLS answers during HBL, they should be able to type it for our e-selection test. There's also another question on if the child comes in through DSA mathematics, can the child join the talent development programs in bilingualism? There will be a problem because of the timetabling. It happens at the same time. So if it happens at the same time, the child has to honor the DSA domain that she comes in by. However, there will be others, I guess, they are not timetable, and if time doesn't clash, they can join in the program. Yeah.
还有一个问题就是家长也有问到说，这个对于这个双语 DSA， 我们是看英文还是中文成绩？我们其实两者都非常重视。
And there's on the screen, I think, about the choice of third language. There is no connection. The child is not tied down to any third language.
谢谢老师。这边有一位小朋友问这样一个问题，就是他如果是这个福建会馆的双文化华文优选课程的学生的话，但是就是没有这个竞赛的奖项或者什么，还会有机会吗？
当然还是有机会的，因为我们并不只是看单一的条件，那么我们是从整体来看，学生呢在这个双语方面的能力呀，所以呢他还是可以申请的啊。
Okay, maybe I will quickly answer a few questions. There's this question from Miss Jun Lee asking about whether she can use the cornet instead of trumpet in the DSA application for concert band. Concert band. Yes, you can do so, but do understand that if you do get selected when you join us, you will have to switch your instruments accordingly. And of course, there are some questions about whether or not being a basketballers, can I apply to netball and things like that? Definitely. I think at the end of the day, you need to think about where is your interest rather than which offers you a better chance to get into the school, because you will have to stay in the CCAs for 4 years. So if you have been a basketballers, for example, and you realize that actually I'm also very passionate about tennis, then by all means apply to tennis. It's perfectly fine also. Just understand that there is a 4 years commitment that comes along with it. Yep. And I think there's also a question about whether there is a need to submit video for dance DSA. Now, shortlisted applicants for Chinese dance, CO, concert band, and string and song will be required to participate in an e-audition. The details of the e-audition will be emailed to the shortlisted applicants only nearer the date. So don't worry, we would like to assure you that we will give you sufficient time to prepare ahead of the e-audition. So maybe I'll pass the time to my colleagues, whoever is ready.
Hi, I'm ready. I will take on two questions. The first question is about whether for service leadership is there any e-written test? There isn't any e-written test for this domain. The second question, which I think has come up quite a bit from quite a few parents, is about integration. I want to also share more a bit about this. That is also one of our key focus when the students join the school at Sec 1. We have in place structures and programs to promote this integration amongst the students and to build the kind of class spirit and teamwork. So at Sec 1, when they join us, we have our orientation program, which the girls always look forward to, and is organized by the student leaders, the Sec 3s and 4s. And the team is really focusing on integrating into the Nanyang family. So they get to know their classmates, they get to know their form teachers, as well as also some of the big sisters, the seniors that they can reach out to if they want to get in contact with, if they need any questions or support, and also about knowing the school environment. Where are the different classrooms, the different special rooms, also about the school history, how Nanyang was founded, and the values on which we were founded. We do have also certain student development programs in place over 4 years, what we call our life skills camps. In each year, it really focuses a lot about strengthening understanding of self, and also we have a lot of opportunities for students to collaborate with each other. Sometimes what we have is that the class are the ones organizing certain activities for different classes. And all this is very aligned to our CCE direction, and it really provide really the opportunities to for development of social emotional skills. And importantly, we always go back to self, understanding self first, so that they can relate to others. We will talk also about learning how to work with others and how to develop healthy relationships with their peers. We do also have class activities, and this is organized usually by the student leaders, for example, like the board of monitors, as well as student counselors, and all with the purpose and objective of bringing the class together to complete certain activities so that they build those relationships and bonds. We have our form teachers who work very closely with the class to create a healthy and positive learning environment. And the form teachers are always there to guide and support, having one-to-one dialogue sessions with the students so that we get to know them better and see which are the areas that we can offer our guidance and support. We have our CCA teachers also who work very closely with the students in CCA to nurture character and growth. And I think I would also like to share, like, the seniors, the big sisters in the school, are very open to offering support and guidance to the Sec 1s. So I hope that addresses the queries on the part about integration. I'll hand the time over to Mrs. Koh.
Hi, parents. I would just like to maybe address two questions. One from parent Corinne Louis, I think. Hi. I think you mentioned about whether Innovation DSA, whether your child needs to be well versed in certain specific areas and whether they need to have relevant competition experience. I think broadly we are looking for potential as well as a passion. I think we mentioned that in the comments as well, and not just specific skills and relevant experience, because I think having the relevant skills and experience definitely would be helpful in the early stages, but I think to bring them through the 4 years that we're hoping to work with them under the DSA program, I think that passion and potential, the mindsets that are relevant would be equally important. And I think another question raised by parent Lina Go, hi. I think you mentioned about whether if you DSA through innovation about building something through the interview. I think broadly we are looking at e-interview. So we are going to share a bit more details later on. So really we are fine-tuning some of these details, but I think it may be a bit challenging to get the girls to build something very specific over e-interview, but I think we are looking more at getting them perhaps to share some examples that they have actually demonstrated creativity, for example, through some of these platforms that we'll be engaging them later on. Yeah, so hope that answers. Thank you.
How about that? Sorry, Mrs. Koh, that question about whether innovation lead to what CCA?
I think we answered that through the chat group, but
okay,
I think just to, we are not tying the students who come in through Innovation DSA domain to any CCA. So they are free to join any CCA.
I will jump in here quickly about generally, I think the questions are still coming in and what kind of criteria, what's the expectation, for example, like DSA size, so that you can benchmark. So really, we talk about that disposition. What does that disposition mean, right? So for example, in the area of innovation, I think we are keen to see girls, right, that are inquisitive, that would like to, look at something, how does this thing work, all right? How can we think of a different way to make this thing work differently? Okay, so if I say that you see your girl, right, at home, right, taking apart your things, and try to figure out the mechanics within it, or looking to create different things on their own. Those are the things that we want to look at. So example, science, same thing. Do they have a scientific mind, right? Thinking, not just about learning whatever that the P5, P6 science textbook or do multiple assessment books, right? But more of it is, what's their curiosity? They look at a plant as you bring them out and wonder, how come this plant has got some parts red leaf, some parts green leaf? Is it because of adaptation? All right. If they look at something else and they say, what is the science behind this? Those are the disposition that we are really talking about. Same thing as bilingualism. It's as generic as that, when we talk about the non-CCA aspects, right? Bilingualism. Do they very interested in reading both English and Chinese, talking about it, the use of language, all right? Or are they confident speakers and users of the language? Those really are what we want to see. What specifically go through what you need to submit? I think it is a process to sit down with your child and talk about what are you most proud of, all right? What makes you feel most achieved, to share more about yourself as an applicant of science, for example, all right? And then make that decision of what to put in. we honestly don't say that we benchmark one child with Olympiad against the other child, or we benchmark one child with 80% scores across everything to one child, which is 79. We don't do that. All right. So I think broadly, really, these are the expectations. In terms of numbers for each CCA or each domain, we can't give you the numbers there. Like I say, we take in about 30% of our Set 1 cohort, which is 400. All right. And that works out to be about 120 or so. Okay. So what we look at is at that whole year of DSA exercise, we then decide which out of all the child that's been shortlisted and interviewed and things like that, right? Who are those that we know that will come to Nanyang and will enjoy the learning experience here, and we can then value add to their learning experience. So each year, each of the numbers will fluctuate. We can't quite tell you which one will have more. It also depends on who are the girls that's going to eventually apply for the DSA. All right. A little bit about IP. I think we heard some of the heads talking about the especially commitment in CCA, right? Like Mr. Teo talked about 4 years commitment. Nanyang is an IP school. It's an IP school of 4 years at Nanyang with 2 years at Hwa Chong. So to come in through DSA or come in through posting, there is this commitment of 6 years, 4 plus 2 at Hwa Chong. All right. And all our Set 1 students come in as IP students. All right, we don't have a dual track, meaning that they can come in and choose to do O-level. No, only at the end of Set 2, after we observe the child, we have conversations with the parents and child. Some of them will opt to do O-level at Set 3 and 4. When they go to the structured IP program, which is the O-level program, they will be prepared to do the O-level at Set 4. And after the O-level, then there is no commitment of whether they need to go to Hwa Chong, or they can then go to other JCs, they can go to the polytechnics or choose any other alternative routes. Okay, but this commitment of IP is something that I think is important for the child to understand. All right, if they are coming in as an IP student and continuing as an IP student, there is a commitment of 4 years in Nanyang and 2 years in Hwa Chong. Though CCA DSA commitment is just at 4 years in Nanyang. So I hope we clarify that a little bit. There's also another question on express, how many express classes. All, like I say, all our students in Set 1 are IP students, so they are express students. And we have 400, which is about 12 classes, okay, around that. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Zhang, may I answer 2 questions on Chinese? Yeah. Okay, there were 2 questions about whether the child can apply to our school if she hasn't taken Chinese or if she has not taken higher Chinese. If your child would like to apply to join Nanyang, then she should be taking Chinese currently or higher Chinese. So, because we're a SAP school. So if your child is taking a higher Chinese right now, then that's not an issue. But if she has taken only Chinese, that's also not a problem. She can apply to join us still. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, can I answer a question which I thought is quite important to clarify? I think Ms. Caroline Lee asked about the criteria for track and field, whether is it speed, whether is it long distance. I think it's important for me to state that while we look at the talent pool that has applied to us, and then we do the selection, we also have to bear in mind the needs of the school. So when we are doing certain selection, or deciding which students get offered, if we have a critical need at a certain particular area, then naturally the priorities will go there. So for example, if let's say I'm doing a DSA basketball and I need a tall center, for example. So if when I'm doing the selection, I will definitely be keeping a lookout for players who are naturally taller in that sense. So we will try and honor the talent ability, but at the same time, we will balance it with the needs of the team also. I hope all parents understand this. Yep.
I'll jump in here because there's some additional questions related to what I shared just now. So I thought I'll just summarize a few points. One is about the commitment and the other is what to submit for service leadership domain. I think in terms of what to submit, we really encourage parents and child to discuss and see what info that demonstrates service and or leadership into the portal. That will help a lot because basically we're really looking at the holistic development of the child. Next is in terms of commitment. I'll just briefly sum it up. One is we do have the expectation that they participate in leadership trainings over the 4 years. It could be within school, could be external events and organized by different organizations or vendors. Next would be we would like them to offer their service to the school during school events. And last but not least, we really encourage them to volunteer or sign up for leadership roles, whether at the class, CCA or school-wide level. Thank you.
Just jump in one final question because I see an overlap. There was a question at 10:18 a.m. and one at 10:20 a.m. asking us if we can show you what to submit on the centralized MOE portal. I'm afraid we cannot. You have to go to the MOE portal and submit accordingly. The instructions will be there. And whether your child's primary 3 and primary 4 results, achievements, and all other supporting materials can be submitted for DSA, I'm afraid not. The portal only allows you for primary 5 and primary 6. Thank you.
Okay, we are running out of time. How about each of you take one more question? All right, then we can end this session. And just to let all the parents know that we will keep this video online for the period of time before the DSA for you to refer to it. And all the comments, all the questions in the comments area within today, you can still continue to come in with all the comments questions. We'll look at all the questions and provide a centralized kind of answer on our school website as well. Yeah. There are a few questions really regarding the commitments about all the different domains. So I think the differences between the academic DSA and the CCA DSA, the difference is that for the DSA CCA, they have to take the CCA. That is the commitment. For all the other domains, what we offer is not really a domain, not really a commitment. It's mainly opportunity and platforms that we offer to your children to further develop their talents in that area. So yeah, hope that answered that question. Any other question that you want to address?
Okay, maybe I will just quickly touch on, it's not so much of a question, but probably just trying to also state a stand so that the parents can take this into consideration. I think if you do want your daughter to apply to us through CCA, first and foremost, of course, you must make sure that she is really passionate in the CCAs because it is really a 4 years commitment. I think it would be very painful if she joins a CCAs that she doesn't enjoy, even though she got into the school. That's the first thing. Secondly, I also need to state very clearly that we are not a sports school, neither are we SOTA. So we will try our very best to develop your daughter, but I think as a school, the achievement is not our emphasis in a sense. So it is really about providing the holistic experience for them to go through. So it is really important for you not to think that, just because I sent my girls in through DSA, therefore all her priorities should be on CCAs or, she has to be developed by the best coach, in Singapore and things like that. I think secondary school time is so precious. I wouldn't want her to miss out too many of the other exciting programs. So it is really about finding their balance. If you feel that very strongly that she has that talent to go very far in sports or in music or in aesthetic, really maybe a sports school or a SOTA might be a better fit in that sense. Yeah, I hope parents will understand this. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to answer a question about DSA bilingualism, about whether the children have to take both the English and the Chinese test. The answer is that it is the same setting, the same test, and they will have to answer both the Chinese and the English question. To be bilingual is very difficult. It's very rare. So if your child is bilingual, please encourage your child to apply to us. Thank you.
Any more?
If not, Madam Ng, do you want to say something?
Yeah.
So that we
Yes,
conclude
I
the
want
session?
to say, I just want to conclude with this comment. The DSA is really an opportunity for students to come in through the different schools before the PSLE results and the posting. So really the opportunity is open up, right, for a child to say that, okay, I have keen interest in this area and I exhibit some aspects of that talent. But a talent is really always work in progress, all right? It is never, oh, they must be this high. If that is in that way, right, there is no need for them to come to a school for us to continue to value add to that growth and development. So I think we need to take it in that aspect of understanding. So it is an opportunity, but it is also not an additional assessment before PSLE to make sure that they already hit a certain area. But I also want to share with parents here that we need to understand as our child grow, especially in the phase from primary school to secondary school, and especially girls, that is when their confidence is developing. We do not want any child to come to a school, all right, and feel that, yes, I may do very well in this particular area of CCA, but I struggle to a certain extent in my academic. We look at the whole total curriculum on the whole, right? We also expect that a large amount of time is spent on the academics in secondary school in Singapore. And how will that complement or how will that affect our child's development of the confidence is something important. If your child is not going to come in and feel confident and struggle through the academic aspects, then I would say there are actually many different schools looking at your needs of the child to let your child learn and grow happily and confidently. And even at Nanyang, all our girls that come in, building this confidence is really a key outcome that we want to see in their growing years. So yes, we welcome everybody to come to Nanyang, all right, but we also welcome you to really think about which is the school that will match the needs of your child's development best. All right, thank you so much for spending time with us. I know we have overshot with almost 7 minutes or close to 10 of spending this Saturday morning with us. We will keep the video on for a while. And yes, thank you for the time with us. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us for this lovely Saturday morning. Please visit us at openhousenygh.com for all the information about our open house, our programs, CCAs. You can see a lot of videos, photos prepared by our students and teachers. And you can also visit our school website, nygh.edu.sg, for more school information. And also, you may have noticed that some of our colleagues have using their personal Facebook ID to actually answer some of the questions here. Can I appeal to all of you to direct all the questions to the school official channel and do not ask them in private later? I'm so sorry. Yeah. So yeah, that's all from all of us. Wishing all of you a good weekend ahead, and for all the mothers,
Happy Mother's Day. Okay, thank you.
Everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.